George Allingham was born on July 16, 1912, and was raised in a devout Irish Catholic family where he learned as a youngster that to serve others was a way of life. His first duty was for his church as an altar boy. Then, when he was old enough to attend school, his parents sent him to Fordham Preparatory School in New York City. During these primary years at the all-boys school, he learned to question, to love, to serve, and to lead. Yet it was the principles that the Jesuit community instilled in Allingham that would guide him through his short life and prepare him to be a man for others. After completing his education at Fordham, Allingham entered Notre Dame, where he continued his studies and performed in several theatrical shows as a student and later as an alumnus. Allingham joined the Federal Theater Project, the first and only federally sponsored and subsidized theater program from 1935 to 1939. During this time, he met and married Blanche Martin and earned a Master's of Education from Columbia University. He thus began his life of service as a professor of speech and drama. When the war broke out, Allingham continued to serve his community as teacher and actor, while his younger brother, David, chose to enlist in the United States Army. Both men understood there was nothing greater than to serve one's country. Therefore, when the Pacific Front escalated, George chose to join the Red Cross. He spent 2 years working close to the service members of the 35th Infantry. He knew them, helped them, worked hand in hand with them, and enjoyed their company. Even though his days were long and often laden with stress, for Allingham, it was a labor of love. He found a way to balance his duty to serve his country and his own desire to be a man for others. When the regiment moved to the Balite Pass in January of 1945 to face the Japanese, Allingham escorted his troops. Records do not indicate how long Allingham had been on the front line, driving an ambulance, fulfilling one of the Red Cross tenets to bring assistance to the wounded on the battlefield, when on April 11th, George Allingham's ambulance was struck by mortar fire, and he was killed. The commanding officer of the 35th Infantry Regiment recommended Allingham for the Silver Star, the third highest U.S. combat-only award for acts of valor and gallantry in action in support of combat missions of the United States military. Moreover, the Silver Star is a commendation seldom awarded to a civilian. George Allingham remained true to his upbringing to the very end, for he was a man for others. We today honor you and thank you for your selfless service to the men of the 35th Infantry Regiment. You will always be remembered. And as is fitting for a man who loved the stage, it is appropriate to quote Shakespeare's Titus Andronicus. Make way to lay them by their brethren. There greet in silence as the dead are wont, and sleep in peace, slain in your country's wars. O sacred receptacle of my joys, in peace and honor rest you here, my sons.